So I came across this article on Hacker News, predictions for 2025, and they actually linked a bunch of these previous ones. So I thought we could come have a look at the last year's predictions on Hacker News and see what came through. I'm actually going to move my face over here. It makes more sense. And then we can have a little look at what people are saying. Do we want to move this a bit more like that? Therefore, we can kind of see everything that's happening. And let's go. So, what are your predictions for 2024? So this was posted last year, of course, so just before the new year. As I'm looking at a crazy 12 months with economics, geopolitics, and technology, Gen I. Oh, by the way, this is all sort of, inside and outside of AI, at least for this year. I'm guessing it's much the same thing. So not all of these might be relevant, but I want to see what people are saying. I generally think on Hacker News the quality of comments are much better than elsewhere. I know last time I was on holiday, I was just reading Hacker News every day, and the comments are just better compared to anything else, to be honest. So, I'm generally optimistic about the next 5 years in the United States. Okay, that probably makes one of you. Change has already started, but 2024 will make it more clear. Several societal pendulums are slowing, will reach apex and reverse course. Optimism will regain footing. See, that's quite interesting. Do we think America's optimistic right now? Or pessimistic? I don't know. I guess it would be split about 50-50, it seems. I think a lot of the Trump people feel positive, and a lot of the others feel negative. So belief in positive application of technologies which shape Earth and society will increase. So there's actually a few responses here. So this person, we're not going to read everything, just sort of maybe a couple of responses. I don't share your optimism. That's fair. The US was historically the land of opportunity, though often at the expense of imperialism, violent coups, and endless wars. This feels like it's getting a bit deep, if you ask me. I predict Google will flounder on multiple fronts. They'll either continue empty promises of ChatGPT killer, or release one that would be second rate. Is Google Gemini? I always forget. Gemini, Google. I have not used that yet, so someone will have to let me know in the comments if you've used I think it's Gemini 2, sorry, and how they're doing compared to ChatGPT. I imagine, nothing's going to come and kill ChatGPT, in my opinion, not anytime soon, at least. So I think the ChatGPT adoption will continue to increase. I think they're right in the sense that, most people I know aren't probably using Google's AI. They're still using ChatGPT or Copilot and stuff like that. AWS will take more market share from GDP. Sorry, I got a cough. They'll release ad blocker unfriendly Chrome, and users will switch to Firefox. I switched to Firefox years ago, although I do use a bit of Chrome. I've actually noticed recently that for it's not YouTube, but YouTube Studio, Firefox is really slow, and I wonder if it's something that, it's really weird. It just doesn't perform well, at least on mine. They're the most, so we're talking about YouTube will expand as ad blocker, series alternatives will merge, maybe Vimeo. Isn't Vimeo's paid, entirely paid. So I don't think they're, at least I think so. So I don't know if they haven't overtaken YouTube, have they, in the last year, let's be honest. And they're the most user hostile of the big companies, and I want them to lose. I disagree in two ways. I think Apple and Microsoft are even more user hostile. Microsoft is putting ads in their OS. That's crazy. I don't like that. It's like when you see it on TVs, at the bottom. You're paying for a TV, and there's permanent ads on it. I would never buy something like that. You're better off just buying a monitor. The reason I don't want Google to lose first is because then Apple would become even more powerful than they already are. Yeah, that's the thing. Apple have the whole entire ecosystem, so that's why I don't really like Apple. They're in full control from top to bottom, whereas Google is still sort of, you can use other things. Not saying you can't use non-Apple products, of course you can, but generally once you're in their ecosystem, you tend to you're sort of incentivized to use everything in their ecosystem. Google is evil, but pretty dumb frequently, which is a better kind of evil. A world without Google is a world where everyone is basically forced into being an Apple customer and iPhone user, like it or not. They're always going to continue going strong. I can't see how Apple and Microsoft lose, to be honest. So, we're also going to be looking at the 2025 predictions, by the way. So, is this is a response still to this? I think I'm curious. Why do you want them to lose, given you aren't forced to use their services? I mean, you can't say monopolistic practices when exactly this. All big companies are monopolistic companies. Previous years. So, this is now a new branch. The Vision Pro becomes wildly popular, at least to a subset of the population. Let's have a look in a moment. It's continuously sold out, and people scalp for absurd prices. I'm talking a minimum 10. Let's say Vision Pro shopping. Why am I using DuckDuckGo? Are they talking about this? So, pristine condition. I mean, I guess these are pre-owned. Maybe I should go on, say, Amazon.com. Vision Pro. Okay. In stock nearby. Hopefully I didn't dox myself. So, we can buy the Vision Pro from Apple. So I guess they were wrong on that prediction. Well, what will they do with it? In the videos I've seen, it's just a bunch of people looking at photos on the couch. It looks boring. Yeah. It's not really for me. Maybe one day. I think I'm not going to be an early adopter, that's for sure. I don't even know if you could call people who are using it now early adopters, but who knows. So I predict that we will see tangible effects of AI eating into non-technical areas. I mean, I'd say insurance is technical. Not difficult, but I mean, insurance is all just based on probabilistic risk, I think, right? Maximizing money. So it's all equations based on data. So I would say insurance isn't non-technical. Content creation, they are right. Now I don't know I don't know where we were a year ago in terms of content creation with AI, but certainly people are doing it. Chatbots via RAG. I have to admit, I don't know what. Agents have gotten big. Agents is something that I've seen a lot of, sort of language-wise. You know, like back in the day, you had sort of big data and blockchain and AI. Those were like big buzzwords. I feel like agents are now that buzzword, or have been recently. What does RAG stand for? LangChain. What does RAG stand for? Can you answer that? What is RAG? RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So I guess retrieval is retrieving information based on like interaction. I'm guessing something like that. Let's do explain RAG in AI. Ugh, my hands were in the wrong place, I think. Is the process of optimizing the output of a large language model so it references an authoritative knowledge base outside of its training data. Okay. Cool. We will continue to see price gauging in utilities and rent. While that's always the case, rent is always going up. I think my rent went up like 10% this year. Driven by corporate greed. Tesla will continue to dominate the electric car market. And Rivian, I know the whole stock market is based on speculation, but Tesla stock, I mean, this is just a crazy number. But all the people on Wall Street bets love Tesla, you know, so it just keeps going up. There's no way this is the value of Tesla stock, not, you know, whatever that means. I'm not an expert on stock, but it's all speculative, so who cares? What does anything cost? Okay, so this is now onto a new thread. Here's a few predictions. At least one major court case plays out over AI. Probably. Hang on, let's get I want to look for something. Just give me a moment. Perplexity. Let's get that open. Have there been any AI related court cases in 2024? Yes, there have been several AI. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some in 2023, let's be honest. Authors versus OpenAI, music publishers versus Anthropic, versus OpenAI versus OpenAI. What I want to say, what about against perplexity? Are you hiding information from me? Yes, there has been significant legal cases against Perplexity in AI 2024, October 2024, which wasn't too long ago. Cool. $150,000 per copyright violation. That's insane. And how many instances of copyright violations were there in total? Or is this a secret? That kind of reminds me of Silicon Valley when they get I can't remember the number, but I think it was like a $10,000 fine or $13,000 I have in my head every time there was basically a message sent on their platform between miners, which was happening a lot. Every piece. But I think this is why Perplexity is partnering with all these places that create the content, you know, like news articles, which I think is a good idea. And I guess they pay them out based on that, so quite interesting. Correct. Social media declines in popularity. I suspect this is already happening. Well, I feel like I was reading, but I wasn't processing. Social media declines in popularity. Is this happening? It depends what you mean. I suspect this is already happening post-pandemic, since places like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook are seeing huge decline in activity. I didn't know that. Reddit follows Twitter's lead, changes name and collapses. That has not happened. Spez seems to be following Musk's playbook. Again, that's not happened. No replacement appears for Twitter. Instead, a small percentage of the existing Twitter base is divided across Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Threads. This is exactly what has happened. Yes. The economy gets split between companies that go full remote work forever and those that go back to the office. I don't really like that. That's like, those are the only two options, right? No? Or are they saying that they're going fully remote? Okay, I guess they're taking it to the extreme. That's not happening. I think some people are still doing a bit of both. So I think this is too extreme. You can never box everyone into, everyone's either going to go in all the time or be remote forever. Layoffs continue in tech-related industries. That has happened. There's definitely been layoffs, and there's also been less hiring. So if you count that, it's sort of like the equivalent of, saving your body rather than trying to bake it. Streaming services collapse in popularity due to their move towards cable TV style setups. While it does feel like this is true, I don't know about the data. And I think things are still growing. At least in terms of revenue. Not sure about popularity. Labour wins the UK general election. That happens. Considers the possibility of reversing Brexit. There has been no conversations of that, I don't think. The Nintendo Switch... I mean, there might have been, of course. So this person, by the way, you've made quite a bunch of... You've made some very good predictions. The Nintendo Switch's successor is unveiled, but does it worse than its predecessor launch due to... Has it gotten a successor? I don't really do handheld gaming. I mean, it's been announced. So another good prediction. Antitrust cases start up against iOS App Store. I feel like this is always happening. Oh, I didn't actually... That's fine. I feel like that's always happening. At least one more natural disaster becomes huge international incident. Yeah, probably. This has probably happened, and I've forgotten about it. I think there's been a few, as always. Renewable energy makes great strides and becomes a larger contributor to the electrical grid world, but it doesn't help enough. This is actually true, and I remember reading... What's interesting about this is it's being funded by tech companies because they're using so much energy. Well, firstly, they've said they're going to be net neutral, or green, whatever you want to call it, and... or carbon neutral, sorry. I think those are all similar terms. So they're building... I'm sure I saw Microsoft give something like 20 billion or something to extend the life of some nuclear reactor or something. I know Facebook or Meta are working on sort of their own clean energy sites. So yeah, I think this is happening. And I know Bill Gates has worked a lot with trying to make nuclear reactors happen. So this is another good prediction. The Russia-Ukraine conflict ends in a stalemate and a peace agreement. Not happening in 2024, but it looks like it could happen in 2025. A civil war or conflict breaks out in at least one previously seemingly stable authoritarian country, maybe Russia. Maybe. Seemingly stable. It's just an ambiguous term. We'll have to see on that. Okay, so that's that. I think there were some good predictions there. Cold Fusion achieved. Year of the Linux desktop. Yeah. This close to taking everyone's job. True. Gold Fusion I don't think is Cold Fusion. I feel like this is one of those things that has happened, but not like obviously in any meaningful way. Do to do 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 to do. Is there anything in news? Well, there's some nuclear fusion, new record. So I think it's been achieved for some certain amount of time. Probably a minuscule amount of time, but nevertheless. The seeds of World War III will continue to grow. Yes, it does feel like that sometimes. But it will be very different, I imagine. Cool, there's a whole nother list of predictions here. Let's go with these. More ambiguity for search engines and university students alike, as more three-letter abbreviations will be taken over by AI, ML, heard. I don't understand that. I've read it twice. More ambiguity for search engines and university students alike, as more three-letter abbreviations will be taken over by AI. Okay. One stupidly simple app will go from 0 to 100 million users. Possibly. I don't know how to verify this. What is the big... Yeah, if anyone can have a think of what some like really fast-growing apps are this year. Probably a game, like a simple game. The top phone companies will team up with one or more LLMs. Probably happening. I really need to switch away from DuckDuckGo. I'm sorry, I just don't like it that much. I just use it. I always use the Google Bang anyway. Apple will use... There you go. Chinese state-owned carrier China Telecom has announced its development of two LLMs trained domestically on domestically produced chips. It will be increasingly tempting for relatives to chat with models of their dearly beloved departed. I would not do that, man. That's just weird. Nah. What's that? You're not talking to them. They're not real. What does that even mean? Oxford will create a word for this. OpenAI invests. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people won't do it. I can see people doing it, but I hate it. What is that? That's sad. You have to move on with your life. You don't talk. I don't like that at all. Dropbox will get into the LLM, but it will happen probably, obviously. That's separate. That's separate. Should it happen? Dropbox will get into the LLM game. Let's see. What have you done, boy? Dropbox LLM. My attempt to reinvent Dropbox LLM security research, expanding the functionality of AI, how we can use Lakira. So, I mean, they've clearly got an LLM. But nothing comes up straight away. They look like they're... How we use Lakira. Oh, Lakira. Well, it looks like they might have one. I don't quite know. Y Combinator will see a dip in applications. The team will react for the better. One new essay from PG. Who's PG? PG essays. PG tips. Paul Graham. I think I've seen these before. Yeah. In what order are these? I would expect the latest one to be the first one. October 2024. Prediction made successfully. Tick. The seed investor to the plastic killer startup that launches in 2030 graduates from Ivy League. I doubt it. They probably don't even go to Ivy League. Who cares anymore? At least one luxury brand will have a wearable AI headgear. Oh yeah, I mean, didn't we already... Luxury. Go on. Let's have a look. Let's have a luxury wearable. See, you're trash. You're trash. Luxury wearable AI headgear. There you go. Brain band. Well, that's quite cool. Should we get an Iron Man helmet? Netflix approaches Sam Altman for a movie. He refuses the first 2 times. Let's have a look. Let me get Perplexity up again. I should have just kept it open, to be honest. This is a specific one, but you know, maybe it happened. Netflix has approached Sam Altman for a movie project, but he has declined the offer twice. Wait, what? 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 Why? How did they know that? Okay. Dubai tried to bring the Las Vegas Sphere. Tried to bring. The next Google CEO in the making takes a risk, swings for the fences, and wins. Meta offers Llama for businesses on WhatsApp. Probably happening. I don't know. Llama. You know what? It's probably easier to just copy and paste these points. I want to make sure this stuff is actually... Okay, that didn't happen. I didn't even mean to copy that one. He looks like he might have a crazy night out though. There you go. Llama integration with WhatsApp Business. This person knows, man. This person knows. Alexa tests their new LLM in the wild 2 months too early, gets sued. Apple and the Japanese firm make a big announcement. Doge and Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Hell yeah, that's an easy prediction. I could have made that prediction. Elon Musk challenges 2 other companies to change their names for $1 billion. Probably has done that. I wouldn't be surprised. Where are we at, man? We are at 29 minutes. I think we can do one more. Hopefully you guys are still here. Looks like there are a few of these threads, sadly. Dang, there's only one way to make a definitive one. Here are mine. Apple rumored to be working with sunglasses, blah 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 blah. AI becomes a scapegoat, blah blah blah. Text and image generating is hugely disruptive to education and content generation. Probably, certainly disruptive. I'm not sure about education. Inflation eases, stock market recovers. Stock market never really... Did it ever fail? Like, was it ever doing badly? I don't really think so. I mean, there may have been a moment in the last year where it was a bit lower. Less obvious at the time, but still likely a Twitter alternative breaks through. I think that has sort of happened with Blue Sky. At least that's the impression I've gotten. Maybe I'm wrong. Who would have think that it would be Meta with Threads? One of the big tech companies joins the Fediverse. What on earth is the Fediverse? Is the Fediverse like the Federal Reserve cryptocurrency? Okay. I have not heard of this. So it's a bunch of open source, ad-free, decentralized social networks. Fair enough. Who would have thunk? I think... Can we do any speedy ones? OpenAI. I will leave the link to this in the description. I think Waymo has a publicized accident. OpenAI releases their first open model. Llama, cheaper to get competitive. GPT-5 is delayed for safety reasons. I think I'll leave it there. Let me know if you want to see more of these types of videos. I will probably be doing at least one more of the 2025 predictions. what I'll do this time is make sure to just sort of ignore the ones that I think look a bit boring and go straight into the actual predictions, because I feel like the first couple here were a bit boring. So yeah, we'll see. At least to me. Take care.